Hello survivors, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be playing on the Hound Master. We're using a single skill, which is going to be the electric wave. That's going to be the AoE one. Where is it? We're going to find it. There we go, lightning field. So it emits an aura of electricity that causes damage and applies dazed on nearby enemies every 0.5 seconds. And we also gain electrified. Electrified is that whenever you cast a skill, you consume 20 stacks of electrified to release multiple jolts of electricity that deal damage. I believe the damage is between 400 to 600 damage, which cannot be changed. Also, as you can see, dazed increases the critical chance of enemies being crit by 4% for 8 seconds per stack. Alright, so we're going to grab that. We took the Houndmaster's first weapon so that we can get some really good AoE going, and we have taken something called Misfortune's Embrace, which is going to allow us to do bleed, burn, poison, and doom. I got to decide which one we're going to focus on, but it's probably going to be poison over everything else. And this is max curse, max danger as well, so we're going to see just how well this performs compared to some of the other skills that we've been trying throughout the week. So this could be really fun. These doggos did get an Ascension upgrade quite recently, and it has made them extremely strong, so we'll see what happens from there. We don't want normal area of effect. Critical strike chance will keep, but for now, yeah, we'll have to go for a little bit of crit actually. And then we're going to grab ourselves the vicious strike there, as well as the multicast from that. So we want to be able to crit on first hit, that's fine as well. And we want to at least get to 100% crit chance, just so we're permanently critting all the time. And we don't even need our cursor because we don't have any skills that require aiming. What we do want to do is just try and pick up all this food as much as possible, because what's going to happen is as we keep growing levels on the dogs, over here you can see it says 3, or if you hover over it, it says level 3. The higher that level, the more damage the dogs are actually going to be doing to everything around them. So it's going to be quite interesting. We're going to grab the movement speed. Critical hit chance for the hounds can go up. Our critical hit chance can go up. Give ourselves some HP. More crit, more movement speed. Again, we're looking for the poison, which we finally get. I'm not going to actually lock it, but we got swift instead. So that swift is going to be very good. And you can just see how much damage we're actually doing to those bosses. Really disgusting damage for something that's a single skill, and absolutely just negative effects, really. It's dazed and a bunch of negative effects. Also, we had a tower up, so let's go sort that out. Okay, there's venomous. I actually want that magnetic as well. We don't need to worry about the poison to doom because we already got poison, doom, bleed, and all of that. I mean, you can get it. It doesn't really matter. But like I mentioned, we're not really looking for that. Gonna grab the damage for the skill itself, although most of our damage is coming from the dogs, so the damage from the skill doesn't really matter too much. It might out damage the dogs in higher overlords. I actually have no idea. I haven't tried that yet. But essentially we want to try and get our dogs to level 8, because that's where they're going to do the most amount of damage. Right now they've got 630% increased damage. So level 8, that's going to be over 800%. I don't believe the dogs have cunning. Okay, we're in a fantastic spot. They did lose some damage because we didn't have enough food to keep them up and running. Critical strikes may apply poison, so that's fine. Actually, even if we go and add more of this, it just means that the dogs themselves will be getting bonuses there as well. Increase the crit. We'll go for doom and for poison. We do want some critical strike chance for ourselves as well, and then increase the amount of poison that we can get. So grab that. There's a nice behemoth, some damage for ourselves. I think we've picked up enough of these. I don't think you need more. And then cast frequency, that multicasting, some movement speed, more movement speed for the dogs as well. The faster they're going to move, the better it is for us, because they're going to be able to get to the enemies quicker and also dodge more abilities just by moving. So you do want to try and, you know, keep that in mind as well for them. Last thing as well is you want to try and not move around as much as you think you should, because as long as the food is all around you, you'll be able to pick it up a little bit better and faster and keep their level higher. Okay, so they are level 6 again. Not getting them to level 7 is a bit sad, a bit upsetting, but it is what it is. Just deal with all of these bosses quickly. Now, they can lose their life to the void presence, but they do heal over time, so you don't really have to worry about that. As far as I know, they don't stay, you know, dead for very long. And we've made it to level 7. We're about to make it to level 8. You can already see 898 damage at level 7. At level 8, they got 1,200. So between level 6 and level 8 is actually double the amount of stats. But now staying at level 8 is actually next to nearly impossible. I think you can get to a level 9 if you're very, very lucky. But I haven't personally seen it, so... Ooh, actually, we might be able to. No, just not enough time, sadly. Nope, we weren't able to get there. So there are things you can do to even make this better. Is you can go for skills that don't require or have access to you know, a single skill like this. You could use skills like buffs instead that will give them increased stats as well, which will make them even stronger. So you could do things like that as well. That would make it better for them. We are going for Doom. We aren't at 100% crit yet. We're nearly there. We just need 20% more. Going to go and increase that. We do get the rotting, which is fantastic for us. Hopefully we can get the same one for Doom, because that's going to be very, very good for us. There is 8% crit. Get rid of the cast frequency and keep moving. Obviously, the more we defeat enemies, the more of the stuff we can pick up. As you can see, the one thing we haven't picked up yet is actually area of effect. So very, very unfortunate. Luckily, we started with the first weapon at level 10, which gives us quite a decent amount of increased area of effect. But it would have been nice to have had a little bit more. Alright, we actually made it to level 9, which is 1,500 bonus. That is actually nonsense. The amount of damage we're getting from there, I think that is absolutely terrifying for these bosses over now. And this might be our fastest run on the Houndmaster, but we are going to go into Overlord and see what it's like. But that damage, absolutely disgusting. And so good to see we actually defeated the bosses in 5 seconds over there. We are going to keep going, of course. We need a little bit more movement speed, crit for the hounds, and then some good multicast mastery. Now, as far as I know, your general stats will also affect your dogs. Now, I could be wrong, and I will double check this, so don't like quote me on it, but I will double check with the developers. But it does work that way with other Ascensions as well, where your base stats affect your minions and things like that. So this could be quite a big thing. As you can see though, the one thing with the Overlord cycles is your dogs do start off at level 1 again, but we should be able to get those levels up a little bit faster than we did originally. So because there's more elites and more enemies, we should see them occurring or leveling up a little bit faster. Okay, more poison, more crit for them, more damage from the poison. Let's go for some defenses over there. A lot of poison on the Eternal Guardian. He got destroyed. So the first boss fight will be the slowest, just because we're waiting for levels on the dogs. They are level 4 now. 240% damage. Get them up to level 5, that's good. And we're starting to see the purple food dropping. Okay, what is their third option? It was just damage, I believe it was. Crit. Block, poison, doom, another rotting. Fantastic. We need to get the rare upgrade for their damage. They are level 6 now, so the bosses should absolutely melt. And then it's a combination, because we've got a lot of negative effects occurring. Enemies are dazed, so they do take a lot more crit. We've got level 7 dogs absolutely decimating the enemy as well. And we just, finally we got an area of effect upgrade. It's taken forever. Okay, we don't need movement speed anymore. We'll go for the multicast chance. Another rotting, 120% poison damage done immediately. We also got the 100% crit chance, so we'll leave that. Another area of effect and even more multicast. So this is actually going to be, very, very strong. What's really fun about this is we'll show you near the end of this, or just at the end of this round, the difference in damage. And you'll just see how ridiculously strong these doggos are, and how sitting on something, like people might not like the dogs and they're like, oh no, they're not so grand. Sitting on them and not using them is actually really, really ridiculous, just because you might think, oh no, the Ascension doesn't actually do anything. It's just them doing damage compared to other people's Ascensions doing a lot, where this is a good indication of just how strong they are. Yes, I think when you go into a lot of the later stages, it will be a bit of a problem, but do remember that your block is going to occur on your animals as well. So if you get a build that has really high block chance and so on and so forth, it's going to affect your animals. So there you go, you can just see they're on 7.1 million damage already, sorry, 3.3 billion, and lightning field's not even on one, it's only on 250,000. A 250 million damage over there already, and it's just absolutely insane or disgusting. So the more chance or the more block that we actually get, it's going to be good for the dogs, because it's going to actually give them some good stats. What we can do is actually get increased poison, because the more poison we get, the more damage the rotting is going to do as well. The more damage we get for doom, the more the ruin is going to do as well. So that's going to be really, really good for us. You'll see our damage is going to slowly pick up and do more and more. The dogs are going to do more and more as well as we keep going now, because the more poison and the more doom we apply, the better. Now, I don't know if I did or didn't remove the doom to poison passive. I can't remember if I banished it or just re-rolled over it. If I banished it, that was a bit silly, and I shouldn't have done that, because it's actually going to be quite strong to use. But if we just rolled over it, that's fine. But since we got both ruin and the rotting, keeping those, or having poison to doom or doom to poison, whatever it was, is actually going to be quite good. Alright, first set of bosses, again, usually just the hardest ones to defeat quickly. Not hard to defeat, just quickly. But once they're done and dusted, they're done and dusted. And we can move forward. So increase the damage of our doom, increase the area. We don't need that. Go grab that. Unbreakable's pretty good because it works on our animals. Not getting the upgrade for that though. Increase the damage of our poison, we get another ruin and a rare area of effect there, so that's going to be very helpful for us as well, because the further we can stand away from the bosses and actually stay alive, the better it's going to be for us. There we go, all the bosses are down. Trying to just stay away from the void presence, because again they do damage the dogs. But this is wild. Doom to burn, I guess we'll go for it. It's not really the one thing we're looking for, but hey, why not? Grabbed, we got some slow now in the mix as well. So we got quite a bit of burn. We can see the incinerate upgrade now as well, which is going to make it so that we have burn apply immediately. Look, getting all these upgrades is good damage anyway for us. I think the dogs have really good damage regardless, so we don't have to worry about that too much. As you can see, they're absolutely wrecking. We might be able to get to a level 9 again. All just depends. It's going too quickly to just get there. Man, in the alpha for this update where they changed the Ascension, they had the dogs grow in size as well. And it's such a pity that I missed out the opportunity on showing you guys that one, because it is absolutely, it was disgusting. So there's the poison to doom, like I mentioned we wanted to get. We can get the magnetic over there, some more life, because I think we are suffering a little bit. We do get the slow now, more area of effect, damage for the doom, damage for the poison as well. Fantastic. We'll just open this up for a bit just so you guys can see what passives we are picking up. And again, like we usually do, we'll just keep going until we hit 20 to 25 minutes depending on where we are in the stage. So if we do beat the one at like 19 minutes, then we'll go into the next round. But I think this is all going to come to an end once we hit around Overlord 6. Not because we won't have damage, but because of our survivability. So we will see. Luckily, in terms of visibility, this is probably one of the best skills, because it's literally just an AoE skill. You can see there's a lot of freedom to see what's happening in front of us. Also, the fact that we have 4 dodges is going to be good for us. But as you can see, we do need our dogs up to a higher level. But there we go. They started to do their damage. Okay, they are at level 5. If we can get them to level 6, there we go. And then our AoE does make a big difference. I think now's where our damage is going to start catching up to what the hounds were doing. Hopefully. But hopefully we can get a high level for them as well. Alright, let's see. We did get the Incinerate like I thought we would. Grab more of that. Merciless is going to be good. We finally get a damage upgrade for the hounds themselves. Increase our Doom. Merciless. Some block, because that's going to be the one thing that's going to keep us alive. More damage for the burn. That wasn't burn. Anyway, magnetic's going to be good. Slow becomes critical. Unfortunately, oh, we can go slow to disarray, but I don't know how good that would be for the dogs, but I think it will be fine. And then you can see once they're at this level, level 7, as long as we can keep it up there, they do a whack ton of damage. So if we could even get to level 9 and just stay there for like 1 or 2 boss fights, we should be good. Okay, we are going to lose a bit of damage now, because you can see they made it there, but we did get to level 7 again, so it should be fine. Oh boy, that's a lot of damage. Do they get area of effect? I don't actually remember. But we're cruising. Give them even more crit. Give us more damage. Give us more unbreakable. Some more life is going to be good. More bleeding. Another incinerate. Now, I know a lot of people think this is ridiculous and it doesn't work, but remember, this can stack infinitely as far as I know. So if you're very lucky and you can get that to like a minus 100, you also got to remember that you got your negative damage reduction from armor as well. So not only are we taking 41% less damage, we're also taking 8 flat damage less. So if an attack was supposed to do 1 damage to us, it won't actually hit us. Although I think you, unless you're blocking, you'll always take at least 1 damage. As far as I know, there's no way to be completely immune to damage. But taking 1 damage and getting a little bit of healing compared to taking like 300 damage is a big difference. Alright, and you can see just in the beginning, the first boss fight every time is going to be a bit of a struggle. Just need to get the doggos up to at least level 7. I think it was level 5 actually. Okay, they're level 3. I don't know if it's me or if there's a little bit of a bug happening over here. Okay, there seems to be a bug with the Ascension for some... Oh, okay, so even though it's showing a 3... so there is a bug, but it's not, it's just a visual bug, luckily. So what's happening is we are hitting higher levels, but the game isn't like registering them visually. So we are level 7 right now, but it's saying we're level 3. We did take a fatal hit there, unfortunately, so we lost our HP. This is where it is important to have that... you know, HP and armor and block and things like that. Unfortunately, we're not getting as much of the armor and block as we necessarily would have liked. 200% ruin. How much is our rottings on 160%? Very, very big damage coming from there. You're going to notice that I'm taking a lot of defensive upgrades now. So every time I see the armor, every time I see the block, I am going to take them. That's going to save us a lot of damage being dealt to us, hopefully. As you can see, we don't have a lot of life. I'm going to have to start dodging around a lot more, moving around. You can see just how dangerous this is all becoming. And the longer the enemies are alive for, so the bosses, the harder things are going to get because they put down negative effects, they deal AoE damage and things like that. As soon as they are down and dusted, you can see the dogs can then focus on all other enemies and things like that. But unfortunately, the damage of our skill itself isn't good enough. And even though we dodged there, the R-frame was a bit late. I should have started an additional dodge right afterwards. So this is not looking good for us. But the fact that we've made it to Overlord Cycle 4 is absolutely madness with just our Ascension. I think this is probably one of the most fun you know, ways of playing the game that I can have. It's definitely something I always do, always playing with just a specific skill and going with that skill. We finally get the disarray as well, which is going to be quite helpful. Go for damage, critical strikes with bleed. I think bleed, the skill's called eviscerate, but I could be wrong there. And I ran into the circle. Unfortunately, we only made it to, I think that was the end of Overlord Cycle 4, but I think that was insane. 15 minutes to get there, 101 billion damage. You can see Lightning Field was starting to get a little bit more damage, but yeah, the difference between the two is evident. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.